Okay, this is a 2011 Chevy Malibu LT. When we are driving, we want to always be prepared. So I'm coming out of a private driveway. I got to look to the left and to the right. There's the sidewalk. There are a lot of people here. You want to turn into the nearest lane, but there's going to be a car to the right. So I'm going to go in the outside lane. You always want to watch for people that will pop up and pop out. And for educational purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and stay in this lane. I always like to be to an open lane. So when you're driving, try to get to that open lane. I'm going to pause for 3 seconds. And that's the hard thing. A lot of people, drivers, people 10 years or less, they just don't have that complete stop. That's a rolling stop. And that's one of the biggest areas of failures. The speed limit here is 35 miles an hour. It's really easy to speed here, do like 40 or 50, but that's when you get an accident and a ticket. But also, this is a one-way. All the signs are facing us, so it's really easy to get confused. Warning sign, another warning sign of a fire station, which is to our left, and then we had this regulatory yield sign. These are some of those old school signs. So we got to yield and look over our shoulder because cars are coming off the ramp to the expressway. They just sped by and they sped up to a yellow light and they just ran the yellow light. So, I mean, come on. They just stopped because the car was there. So I wanted you to see that, and that's how people get killed. And what I want you to understand is I'm going to show you how to become a good driver. I'm a state certified driving instructor. This is a third-person view, and you'll be able to see me talk and narrate and look, and you can pretend you're driving, and I'm giving you best practice. Does the day of the week indicate how you people drive? Sometimes it does. It's Friday. It's 10 to 4. People are tired. They just got to work. Some people got paid. They're going to go party, drink. We really want to be mindful, and there's happy hour. This is how drinking establishments, bars, entertainment facilities make money. You sell something half off, 2 for 1, free chips, and then people come in and buy a beer, and then they take another beer, and then next thing you know, they're drunk. By me being a state certified driving instructor, I'm never going to take that risk. Why would I do that and put my driver's education endorsement in risk and my license? That's stupid. So I'm never going to put myself in this situation. I'm at about 30 miles an hour. Just cruising. I see heavy traffic on the expressway. So I could show you what that is, or I could keep it on a surface street too. So I might do both. This is the service drive. This runs parallel to the expressway. We got other warning signs of a school zone and school zone crossing. So I want to have a complete stop, and they stopped, and I'm going to stop. 1001, 1002, 1003. That's all you need to do, but it's so hard for people to act like they understand what to do. So we're just taking our time. And this particular area with the yield sign is dangerous because cars are going really fast off the expressway, and I'm going to yield and look. And I take my time. And that's what I want you to get from this. It's just taking your time. It's a nice Tesla coming up, and then I'm going to come in right behind them. See how dangerous this is? Traffic just crossing over. And I'm going to see the rear of the tires on the ground. If you can't, you're too close to the, if it looks like I'm too big for this car, I'm really too big for this car. I'm like 6'4", 270. But it's a small car, and typically driver's ed cars, training cars are this size, a mid-sized car. I'm looking left and right, scanning the intersection, and then I'm going to show you what driving a rush hour looks like, and I'm going to show you some traps and tricks. Oh, man. Yep, I'm going on. And in a way, it'll be stop and go for a few minutes. So I'm looking, and then I'm going to go into the first lane and then squeeze my brakes. Perfect. think it's important that you understand the dynamics of driving. We didn't want to be behind this person carrying those wood pieces that could come out. They should have a flag on there, red flag. Truck drivers must have the secret formula because they always know what lane is always moving. Usually it's the center lane, but I'm going to stay in the right lane for now. And then eventually I'll get to let you know what's going on. There's always a lot of stimulation around this big semi truck. Sorry I'm raising my voice, but I want you to be able to hear me. And then traffic is starting to pick up. If you were driving with me, I would have you in the first lane, keep it moving, then eventually I would get you to the middle. We were training in this type of volume yesterday, so you got to know a second and third route to go on. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of stop and go traffic. So I realize I'm talking to a group of drivers who aren't patient, that 16 to maybe 26, you're not patient, but that can result in an accident. And woo, you hear those air brakes, right? We're not trying to have an accident. We're just trying to be as smooth and as deliberate as possible. You have to find some relaxation in this journey. And as long as you're moving. So I was going to make a decision to either go in this rush hour traffic or on surface, the regular surface streets. I think this probably won. And I'm going to get over and accelerate through my lane change. And now I'm lifting my foot. These brakes are really soft, so I want to squeeze the brake. A lot of beginners wait till the last second to brake, and then we're going to rear end the car. So I try to teach students to slow down earlier. You need more room than you think. We're at about 40. Even though the speed limit is 70, we're at 40. And some beginners will say, why are we moving so slow? Because the volume of traffic, there are 100,000 cars in 3 lanes of traffic. So we can only move the flow of traffic based on the volume. And the middle lane is the safest. If you see me checking my mirror a lot, I am. I only have a 2-way camera. This is director's view. So you see the front and then you see me looking around. If you see me checking my mirrors because cars are coming up on me, and you should be checking your mirror. That's a dangerous maneuver. They just cut in front, and that catches us off guard. I don't want to say I'm used to it. You never get used to it because it kind of startles you. And if you were driving, you might jerk the wheel just like that. And that's how accidents happen. We're still at about 45. And I'm not going to get really aggressive on the gas because that's going to slingshot me forward when the turbo boost kicks in. And then you see the person carrying a tree up there. I don't know if they cut down a tree or they're carrying one, but they're carrying a tree. So you see some incredible things that people carry in their car. It's like branches of a tree. So I don't know what's going on. And I don't know where they're going to put it. So we're at 60 right now, but we're going to get into another connector ramp where the volume of traffic is over 100,000. So some pockets of traffic move fast, and we're moving at about 60 of the volumes of traffic. You move at 40. The next thing I would say is leave on time, leave early if possible. And I'm looking ahead, it looks pretty good, but still. And it still means we're going to have another connector ramp where traffic is coming off another expressway. And then you're going to have 50,000 plus cars meeting another 50,000. And you can see the brake lights now. So I would tell you lift your foot, slow down, look ahead. And I'm at 60. Cars are kind of cutting over. They're speeding for nothing. And that's so dangerous because they're going to have to slingshot over and cut me off. If we had an overlay of my speed, I'm still at 60. But now you can see everyone slowing down and I'm squeezing the brakes real easy. My eyes are judging the distance, the braking distance that I need, the space I need, because in case someone cuts me off, they're from California, out-of-state drivers, so they could be lost, could be out of gas, it could be really tired. And I'm just looking left and right. I see left and right, but I'm keeping my focus. So I'm using both my peripheral vision and my central conic vision. And we're going to use driver's education terms. I'm keeping my space cushion, then I'm going to squeeze. And I'm eliminating what's not important. This can cause information overload where you're getting too much information. But I would say focus on what's important. And that's us, the speed control. I can let this gray vehicle over, or I cannot. I'm gonna keep moving. And then they can just slide in behind me, which they did. You can see good drivers because they keep up with the flow. They don't brake excessively. They're not aggressively tailgating. We're looking for consistency through the speed of the traffic. Inconsistency is a beginning driver, a distracted driver, an aggressive driver, or a road rage type driver. Everyone's pretty consistent. The flow of the traffic's moving pretty nice. But this is Metro Detroit. This is Metro Houston, Texas. This is Los Angeles, California. This is Washington, D.C. This is Cleveland, Ohio, where you have huge volumes of traffic and people are in a hurry to get home, in a hurry to get to work. They're coming out really fast. But you want to try to blend in the traffic. That execution looked pretty good. I would have preferred a better blinker, but they blended into traffic nicely. And then I didn't have to brake excessively. And then that black truck is aggressively speeding up. They look a little angry by seeing no blinker. So that's dangerous too. That throws us off. That would make us jerk like this because you catch it off guard. I'm not squeezing the wheel. If I do, I will rock the vehicle. So they don't use a blinker. And that small gesture can confuse people and frustrate people. I'm at about 70. I'm chilled. If I want to go a little faster, I can go to the left. If I want to go slower, I can go to the right. Or if I want to chill here, I'm nice and smooth. And why would I mess with a perfectly good situation right now? And as I get closer to the semi-truck, I can change lanes. The flow of the traffic is catching me. So I'm going to get over one lane to the left. About 4 blinks. And let's talk about these lines. We've got a yellow line. We're in North America. This is the warning line on the left side. And then there's an edge line on the right. That's the white line. These curves will pull you out in a straight line. Centrifugal force is pulling me. Oh! I hit a bump and that kind of jerked the wheel. That was really scary. That caught me off guard so bad. Oh my God. It was like I didn't have control for a minute. And man, I can't make that up. That was real. So now I'm lifting my foot. And it's a little reminder. So there are these, about every car length, they've been repairing the Expressway. And that really threw me. Oh, by the way, this car has electronic steering. It doesn't have traditional hydraulic, so it does kind of have a mind of its own sometimes. Because I have drove one of these cars before and the steering wheel was literally shaking left and right. losing my space. I'm losing my space. So I had to squeeze the brake. That was a little scary. That was scary. Because you can't tell how the pack is. Okay? So we had two emotional situations. And if I had a heart rate monitor, my heart dropped twice. So that's why you got to pay attention out here. And if you were a beginner, you wouldn't know. I would have to brake for you. But if I'm braking for you, you're not learning to drive. So this meant that all of us were going too fast and there was a huge slowdown. And this is the danger of being in this type of traffic. You get very complacent and then you feel comfortable. Next thing you know, I'm looking over my shoulder. I got over. I don't feel comfortable being in front of semis, but I don't feel uncomfortable. You just got to really keep up your speed because that's 80,000 to 100,000 pounds that you're dealing with. And driving is an emotional situation. It's very fun, but also can be very dangerous. As you can see, conditions can change just like that. So I'm just taking my time, getting comfortable, getting set, keeping some space. Man. Either I'm braking very late or these brakes are just worn and they're stopping very slow. I think it's both, because all of a sudden the flow just stops. And that's where rear-end collisions happen. I'm just trying to take my time. You always get a little hungry and you get a little tired in the car. I try to have a little coffee or some water in here just to keep you hydrated. And I'm just looking ahead, keeping space. Looking at the surface on the ground. So I'm looking at the ground view, which you guys should be able to see. And the GMC is behind me, Sierra 1500. I'm not in a rush. I'm not tired. Usually this time of day, you get really tired and you kind of like almost fall off to sleep, and it can be dangerous. Because driving does take concentration if you're really driving. Even if we had a Tesla and it was on autopilot, I still would really be aware. I don't think I would have it on. This car has anti-lock brakes. Doesn't have adaptive cruise control. It doesn't have lane departure. The next generation cars have these things, and I think they're going to definitely have some AI features. I did a discussion on that, so you would have to look it up. We're at 30 miles an hour. It's fine, but you really got to pay attention. You want to keep a car lane for 10 miles an hour. You see any lane moving particularly fast? I would say it's probably the center lane, but everyone's a little bit different. There's no one best lane. We're still looking at 100,000 plus cars traveling east and west on these roads. The flow is starting to pick up again. So if I hit the pedal too hard, the turbo boost will kick in, then our rear ends and run. That vehicle did not use a blinker, they just cut over. But you can see the space starting to increase. So if I hit the pedal too hard, I'm going to launch the car forward. Again, I'm just reading traffic, being really smooth. And I hope you're getting a good perspective. And I'm just squeezing the brake. I am driving with my right foot only. This isn't automatic. If I had a clutch, ooh, be a lot more. I have to push the clutch in, downshift to probably 3 or 2. Depends on how the car is geared. People are trying to road rage and get out of here, but we're at 1/4 of a tank. We're good here. This is your typical traffic during rush hour. I don't think there's a car broken down or an animal out here or a truck. It's just heavy volumes of traffic during this time of day. So you just have to be patient. Should have had used the bathroom before you left. Had something to drink or eat, so you're not. Say they just kind of came out, saw that squeeze play. That's not cool. You want to keep your space. These people are getting very impatient. And they literally put us in danger. So I'm making more space. And that's what you need to do, and that's what you should do. The flow's picking up again, but you know what happened last time, that sudden slowdown. Because the interstate can only support so much traffic. Then after it reaches that limit of saturation, you're going to have massive slowdowns, massive stops. See, just like now, it's kind of like a tidal wave of traffic. It'll slow, then the flow will pick up, then it'll slow down. So I'm squeezing the brake. I'm using driver's ed terms because that's what this is. You want to check your mirrors every 12 to 15 seconds. I saw the semi-truck cut over to the right. Maybe they see something we don't see. Okay, I'm going to accelerate over. And I'm going to follow the semi-truck. Let's see if the slower right lane will pass volumes of traffic. We're already past about 15 cars. Okay, he's just hitting the gas for nothing. Now he's working. Try to be as smooth as possible. I'm not a big person who switches multiple lanes all the time because it's not that serious. I don't have anywhere to be. I have to get to the bank. We're not low on fuel. I have to use the bathroom. I have to pick up the client. So you just stay steady, stay consistent. We're at 40, speed limit 70. See how the gap is closing up? So we passed about 170 cars already. We're just moving along. And I'm giving this semi-truck extra room. Time, being nice and smooth. Just trying to be very deliberate. We're still at 40. Past about 225 cars. Ooh, squeezing my brake. Because I see the brake lights in front of the semi-truck. But also these semi-trucks cannot take us to the promised land. You still need to know when to change lanes, when to keep space, when to back off. I'm in no hurry, so I'm going to stay behind the semi-truck. And there's another semi-truck behind me, so there is some pressure to keep it moving. I'm just going to keep my space.